when you start talking.
I know I have this weird, like my voice is weird. I don't know if it's allergies or what, but like I get the pollen's like allergies have been.
Allergies are,
Yes,
my
it's
kid
the
was
rag.
sneezing today.
So I have a little.
We don't need them anymore. Oh, yeah, this thing is more advanced.
Oh, wait, we don't have a
We
thing.
don't have the thingies.
It's all here. It's all up there now.
Okay.
There's
We
watching.
all talk like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't say anything, it's your camera.
I guess so. I don't know.
It's-
Probably.
Okay, good evening, everyone. All right.
Your camera's right there.
Where?
Your camera's up here. Your
Oh, right.
mics are up here.
All right, good. All right, good evening, everyone. This is the City of Sugar Land Parks Board meeting. It is now 5:30 on November 12th, 2024. I am calling this Sugar Land Parks Board meeting to order. Please note that this is a public meeting open to the public and is being recorded as per the Texas Open Meeting Act, which is available to the public. So the first item we have on here, just making sure do we have any public comments?
No one's done it.
Thank you. Moving on, really. Facts, finding and recommendations. So consideration of and action on the recommendations for the submittal of the 2024 Tree City USA application to the city manager. Henry Babb. Pronounce your last name for me. I'm gonna butcher it. I don't want to.
Everyone, American name is Vavreka,
Okay.
but the true Czech name is Vavrečka.
Oh,
Vavrečka. So Mr. Henry Vavrečka.
So who really knew that was my school principal.
Oh, wow.
In trouble.
Well, Mr. Vavrečka, right away service manager will be presenting. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Parks Board, for allowing me to be here to talk about the Tree City USA app. This year, for 2024, we want to start out that there are some responsibilities that we have to meet to qualify to submit the application for Tree City USA. One of them is participate in the annual Arbor Day proclamation and activities, including the City Council proclamation, which was voted on consent October 15th, 2024. It was across Sugar Land tree planting, which was this November 2nd, 2024. It was very successful. If you ever get an opportunity to join in that and plant some trees and have some fun, this year it went really well. A lot of good volunteers, and we planted a lot of trees and got it done really quick. So I was kind of amazed. It gets better every year. And also public awareness and education. And the final step is approve the Tree City application renewal. So we've been awarded this designation since 2011. So we're going on our 14th year. And requirements, as I said, a tree board, board department, a tree care ordinance, which we have. Community forestry program with an annual budget of at least $2 per capita, which we meet that. And an Arbor Day observance and proclamation. This year, our per capita was $4.06 per capita. And that's based on the budgets from Public Works, Parks, all combined, and all the work that we do with HOAs and the monies that are spent taking care of trees. So we meet that. We went up this year a little bit from last year. It kind of goes up and down, just depends on how much money is designated to in our budgets to take care of trees. And this is just a screenshot of the proclamation for this year, which we dedicated or proclaimed November 2nd, 2024 as Arbor Day in Texas, which that was the day of the event, which actually November 1st is actual in Texas Arbor Day, but we usually call it out on the day we actually celebrate this. And the event was held at Collin Park this year on November 2nd again. And we partnered with Parks, Keep Sugar Land Beautiful, Public Works, and all the volunteers and some sponsors that help put on that great event. So next steps. I'm here asking for Parks Board approval to approve us to be able to submit the application. And once we get that approval, the application will be sent to the city manager's office for signature. And then we will submit that application by December 31st to Tree City USA Group for approval and award the designation for another year. this is short, but Public Works Department and Parks Department recommends approval of the Tree City USA application. Any questions?
I love that. This works. So.
Trees go in.
Tallman Park this year.
Okay.
I think we planted about 165 gallon, maybe a few more, and about 30 gallon. And it went pretty smooth this year. So I know the park suffered some decline on some certain trees, and we put these trees in back where those trees declined, so we kind of reforested it and make it look.
Any other comments or questions? I mean, this is pretty well, what you'll have, like every year, I'm always all for it. So I guess, can I get a motion?
I'd make a motion that we approve and recommend
Okay.
that this go further.
Good, thank you, Joe.
On the screen, go back one. I can use the writing, but the reading on the screen. But
Those in
anyway,
favor?
and I'd like to just say that I'm so happy that we do this every year because I love trees and there's trees all over Sugar Land. And, you know, they're just gonna get bigger and bigger for our kids and our kids' kids. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
So appreciate the motion, Kelsey, Joe, thank you. So that said, those in favor? Here. All opposed, I guess there's no, everyone's a unanimous decision on this. Thank you so much. The motion carries for the consideration and action. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know we don't have a lot of items on the agenda tonight. I know that Henry's was my sensitive right to be able to file this and so I have all the time in the world to spend on this monthly report. So you know, I'm not gonna take
So much.
time in the world, but just I'm not gonna skip through it.
Could you read the caption for me, please?
Oh, yeah, so. Oh, so the next item we have is the director's report. For the parks topic, upcoming events and recap, Miss Kimberly. Well, I'm gonna congratulate to her, Director of Parks and Recreation, will be presenting. Thank you so much.
So we've been busy and just wanted to highlight some of the things that we've been working on, kind of what our bigger challenges were in this last month. Few weeks ago, probably almost a month ago, we had a major unexpected electrical outage at Oyster Creek Park. We had, you know, the panel where the electrical comes in, like where Centerpoint's stuff is, right? It essentially blew up. And so instead of being able to install a new panel, they told us, hey, your electrical, since it was built like in the 90s, it's not up to code now. And so we can't just replace this piece. You have to do significant improvements in the park to get that up and running. So, you know, so staff did a tremendous job and, you know, our bathrooms right there are on a lift station, right? So we had generators running the lift stations. People could still use the bathroom. We had to shut it down for night use. You know, the trail is open at night and those lights operate the trail. So for safety, you know, because the parking lot lights, like everything was out. We told people they couldn't operate it for night use. We had the final Summer of Sound event that was like looming on the horizon in less than 2 weeks. Like there's this big event out there, everybody's coming. So everybody worked really hard to come up with solutions to get all of this up and running and to get it operational for Summer of Sound and really just for folks to use, right? Because, you know, I mean, if you've been by Oyster Creek Park in the afternoon, like, you know, like that parking lot is full, right? So the fountains weren't working, so people couldn't take all their pictures and all of that. So it was, you know, to have a major park like Oyster Creek Park have a sudden power outage. There were quite a few impacts, but our staff worked really hard with our electricians and kind of brainstorming like what can we do that's kind of within budget and, you know, on time in order to get things back up and running. So they did a tremendous job. And then just regular electrical repairs, light poles and those sorts of things in the park. But our staff, like I said, are tremendous at working on solutions for things. Our signage, these signs, these used to be like our standard signs. You see them all around, but I swear the letters are always falling off. These are ones that we have a contractor do and they just, I don't know, like it gets hot, the glue gets unsticky, you know how it goes. So instead of sending this out to the sign shop to get them to repair it, our staff did in-house repairs on this one and got it up and operational around there. I don't think it may be on there, but they had some fun with the lettering and kind of spelt some, you know, some not rude things, but just weird things, right? Let's do not say park as a joke, but that's not how it while. Wildflowers in Cullinan Park, Fung Lin, you know, she is so passionate about wildflowers as we are in the Parks Department, but really she, you know, she takes a real hands-on approach to this. On the left-hand side, so this is at Cullinan Park, on the left-hand side is a volunteer project that took place in April to seed the wildflowers. And 6 months later, on the right-hand side, like this is what it looks like now. So I mean, the impact is huge. You know, some wildflowers, you know, where it's like a constant effort to seed it, to make it, you know, beautiful, but I mean, and I think they said that when they're out there, they observed like 30 to 40 butterflies. Like, you know, these things are important to the pollinators, they're important to us. And, you know, Fung Lin's doing a tremendous job of kind of creating this pollinator gateway and kind of, you know, enhancing all of our parks with these types of things that really, they're done with volunteers. They don't cost the city very much, but I mean, what a tremendous impact to be able to drive by instead of seeing like, you know, just some grass and weeds and stuff. You're seeing these wildflowers. So her team's been tremendous in that. We talked about the tree planting, so I'm not gonna steal any thunder from that, but just some pictures here. The right-hand side is kind of along that piney trail where we had a lot of death from the pine bark beetle due to the drought and some of those other complications. So you know, it's named the piney trail for a reason. And so we wanted to make sure that we were actually planting back some pines as well as some understory trees there to kind of do some of those reforestation efforts and tremendous amount of volunteers. They finished up early that day. We were worried about the weather, but the weather was fine. We were lucky to be in a cycle of more rain. So it really helped to water in the trees because it's been, you know, very dry for a while. So we were very fortunate on the weather there. And I'm going to give a shout out to staff because there was a gentleman at the very end of this tree planting that had a medical incident. He got overheated and he was fainting and then he started seizing and our staff did just the best job in stabilizing him, calling 911, getting him to where he needed to be, to where he, you know, he's taken to the hospital. He didn't want to go to the hospital, but they took him to the hospital. And he, you know, he was checked out like that same day or the next day. So he's very safe, but you know, our team did just a tremendous job in, you know, kind of addressing that and taking care of our people. Our people always come first, right? So making sure that our people are taken care of. So dog agility equipment. So this is our dog park, Palm Springs Dog Park. We had a request from a resident a month or so ago. It's like, hey, it would be great if we could put more agility equipment in the dog park, because we did have some agility equipment in there that was built by as an Eagle Scout project. Well, you know, I mean, it's aged and it's, you know, it's not, you know, they hand built it, right? So things are going to age and age out. So people are remiss that we don't still have agility equipment in there. So there's somebody that's very passionate that came to us and say, hey, I really want to make this a project. So Fung Lin and William worked on kind of what that would look like. And we're going to take that to the Legacy Foundation to see if we can't get some help with some folks raising some funds. Because the lady that brought it to us was very passionate and just very sure that, hey, I can help fundraise for this. We can make this a community project. We're going to help fundraise for this and get this built. So stay tuned on this one. When we meet with the Legacy Foundation, you know, we'll see if it's something that they want to take on as a project and that we can fundraise for. But it would be in the small dog area and the large dog area. And this is commercial equipment. So it will, you know, it'll last, it's meant to last longer. But you know, we've had several requests for this, but this person's actually taking the bull by the horns and has a plan. So we're gonna see if we can't help them bring those assets here. Just recently, actually on Saturday, the art at the two like the enclosures, right? What are they called? The storage containers, yeah. So at the end of kind of at City Park, at the end of the parking lot near the skate park, there are two storage containers, two big storage containers that the league, Sugar Land Little League uses for storage for their equipment. And they just recently replaced them because they're falling apart. Like one had China written in like huge letters on the side. They weren't an asset to the park for sure. They weren't an asset to the park for sure. And so we worked with our civic arts department division on kind of like what opportunities do we have? What are you guys thinking? And so we looked at these two containers. It's like, hey, here's an opportunity. for some, and they call it graffiti art. And we actually got a lot of negative feedback from folks in the community because they don't associate graffiti with this, right? But graffiti is actually just the method by which you are doing the art, right? And say, instead of like I'm oil painting, it's like, it's because it's with a spray can. Yeah, it's with a spray can, so it's called graffiti art, even though it's not like tagging. Like this was all created with a spray can. So on one side, on the parking lot side, we have the Little League theme, and the league was very involved in kind of in choosing this artwork and working with the civic arts folks on this artwork. We wanted to make sure that they were represented and that they felt represented in this artwork. On one side is the Sugarland Little League part. And on the other side is a nature theme. And so these are both in place now. They were just finished up on Saturday and they just look amazing. The pictures don't really do it justice with the lighting and stuff, but I mean, the colors, especially with the nature side it's just spectacular. So if you have a chance, go by City Park or there by the skate park and get up, but you've got to get out and walk around in the back to see the nature side. But the idea is if you're walking on the trails that are kind of behind there, that you're seeing the nature side, and if you follow the baseball side, but it's really tremendous. And all done with spray cans, right? Like I can't even imagine. So, we've been operating our farmers market for about a year now, a little over a year. We took it over in October of the previous year. And so we've started to, we've really spent our first year really trying to build it and grow it and make it successful. We have about 40 vendors now that go out there opposed to kind of the 20 that we started with. So the vendors have doubled. The feedback is tremendous. We've got musicians that are out there. Sometimes we've got food trucks. But one of the things that we're adding in, that staff are adding in, is just theming different things and creating little mini events, like little pop-up events. So we had Halloween at the farmers market a couple of weeks ago, where we had a pumpkin carver out there that demonstrated pumpkin carving. We had candy and photo booths and face painting and really like themed it to Halloween. And it just adds a different kind of layer on it, makes it, really kind of helps with that placemaking and kind of that enhancement of place. The next one that they're planning is Christmas themed, and you'll see stuff on that, but they'll have Santa out there for photos with the kids and some different things themed around Christmas. So excited to be building on that, and we'll bring, we'll make sure to bring those successes to y'all, but it really enhances the market and makes it more of a destination, and the vendors participate as well in the different things. And then Halloween at T. Harmon Center, we always have a costume competition there with the seniors, and they really enjoy it. So there's them and all their variety of costumes for that costume party. They had a blast.
Is that Wreck-It Ralph?
This one?
No, it's the Minion.
Minion.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you look like Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
a good
it looked
kid.
like it.
Okay.
And then Yappy Hour, we had a few weeks ago, we had our Yappy Hour. We have those mini events that are part of our Parks event series. Yappy Hour is, of course, in the pavilion next to the Palm Springs Dog Park. And we had a variety of dog themed vendors there and activities. And the turnout was really good at this one. Everybody loves Yappy Hour. I think we're gonna have to make it multiple times a year because it's just so successful, right? We had food trucks out, and you see the fire department were out with, with their mascot Soapy. And we had a photo booth, and we had like foam, like, they have like the foam parties for the kids, right? We had foam for the dogs to run through. And we had free microchipping out there as well. We partnered with Animal Services, where they brought out, like, they have a donation of microchips, so they microchipped a whole bunch of dogs and cats. I mean, I didn't see any cats, but they would have accepted cats. But all those animals for free through a grant, so we're able to help in that way. And then upcoming, save the date. We've got our next event, which is Christmas tree lighting. It's always the Friday a week after Thanksgiving. So this year it is December the 6th from 5 to 8. You'll of course get more information and invites on that if you haven't already got your parking passes and all of those things, right? So more info to come on that, but save the date. It's coming up faster than we know. And that's it. And I'm happy to answer any questions you'll have. Of course, there's a lot more in the written director's report, but
Really more comment, just So they're out, yeah, people are out there in the dog park at 5:30 in the morning. It's FYI,
Yeah, and it's closed this week.
dark. But they are, I mean, they got their flashlight walking around and I know because I'm out there running with them and they're out there actually, you know, you can see all the flashlights are walking around with their dogs. In the middle of, I mean, just early in the morning. It's like, geez, wow. I was really surprised.
Yeah, people were, for the parking got really full really fast for this event, like sooner than we expected. And so I was trying to help. I shouldn't help. I was trying to help. So I look like some crazy woman in the driveway because I don't have any like shirt or like anything on. I just look like this, trying to direct traffic, and they got really angry at me. Because they wanted to go to the dog park and I was in their way. So they were very passionate about being at the dog park. They were not happy with me.
About the park, Oyster Creek or so, how the powers are out. I know I was there because I see a lot of people who are doing photos. I was doing photos for a family, but people are still out there, dry creek or not, with the no fountains or so, but it was a lot of muddy spots, but then there's that water that was out, but people are still out there trying to do some shots and they're still whatever. So, but it's all working right now, right?
Everything's working and back to normal. Yeah, I felt really bad because the day that it went out and I was out there and I saw people taking photos and I felt like they were waiting for something. They kept looking around and waiting and I'm like, I had to be the one that's like, hey, like it's not gonna come
But I
on.
never walked through a creek where it's dry, because I remember my kids always jumped through that little area from rock to rock. I was walking right through, it was like, it's different. And then the turtles are all hanging out there, they're looking around like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Sorry, Kelly, you had a.
Two things. One is, does this mean that we need like solar lights or something at the dog?
Oh,
Area.
I mean,
I mean, like, if they're out there in the dark, do they need lights or no?
I mean, they got their flashlights and they're happy. There's dogs, or you can hear the dogs running around because you can see hear the bells on their necks.
The collars.
Yeah, because I'm running by that area, it's pitch dark, but you can see the some walking around and the dogs, you can, running around with the bells.
That park is a dawn to dusk park, so they really, nobody should really be there in the dark. Any lighting out there, like the parking lot lighting, is really more for safety.
Oh, okay.
Than for anything, yeah.
And then the second part is on the park with the bocce ball court. Park at the levee.
Oh, yeah.
Park at the levee.
Park at the levee.
But where is?
So Park at the Levee is in River Park. Are you familiar at all with River Park? It's hard to explain where it is.
Yeah, no, I know the area, but I haven't gone, I haven't wandered around in it.
Place.
Yeah, so Park at the Levee is kind of in the north part of River Park, sort of adjacent, kind of closer to the Brazos, but still on the protected side.
Oh, okay.
There was a new development that built there at East River Park. And so with that development came parkland dedication. And so they dedicated some parkland to the city that was adjacent to Park at the Levee that allowed us to work with them to add on some different
Is
things.
this the one north of 59?
It is north of 59, yeah, it's
Okay.
north of 59 and west of 99.
Yep.
Yeah, but yeah, so we're able to get some additional amenities, including parking and some other things that the levy improvement district is gonna pay for, so
Okay.
we're excited about that. And we'll continue to work with them on the plans. We don't just give them carte blanche and then they go do the things, right? They review the plan sets with us and all of those things and make sure all the contractors have all their insurance and all that to do the work. Thank you. Yeah.
Kelsey, you had a.
I did. Something in the notes, I was just excited to see about the working with master naturalists to prepare for an HEB pollinator meadow grant of $3,000. Do you know already where that's gonna be or?
I'm not sure. I'd have to check with Bungland to see where that one's gonna be. I know that they did. Or we're gonna do some more calling in, but I'm not sure if that's where this money is gonna be used for, yeah.
Anyone else? Nice and quick meeting, appreciate it. Thank you so much for the report, appreciate your time.
Thank you.
With that said,
A motion to.
Andy? Kelly, thank you so much.